يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي.
Why not travel to space? But first things first, let's figure out how fast the speed of light is. Spoiler, it's very fast. It's the speed at which light travels in a perfect vacuum, and it's 671 million miles per hour. Imagine being able to travel at the speed of light. Really short commute, huh? Why don't we, humans, explore space at the speed of light? Well, in short, the laws of physics make it impossible. Let's ignore this insignificant detail for now and imagine we can move at the speed of light. The Moon is almost 239,000 miles away from our planet. This distance is the same as 30 Earths placed side by side. If you were traveling to our planet's natural satellite at the speed of light, it would take you just a bit more than 1 second to reach your destination. It's time to travel to our one and only Sun, which is almost 93 million miles away from Earth. But when you travel at the speed of light, this distance doesn't seem so huge anymore. It would take you just a bit more than 8 minutes to get to the Sun's surface. Ow! It's hot! It takes sunlight on average 8 minutes and 17 seconds to travel all the way from the Sun to Earth. You visited all the nearest sites, and it's time for longer trips. How about traveling to Jupiter? The distance between this planet and Earth varies, with the smallest being 365 million miles and the greatest more than 600 million miles. Let's assume you don't have to travel that far. Even so, you'd need about 32 minutes to reach the largest planet in the solar system. That time is enough to have a nap. With your ability to move at the speed of light, you could even travel to the outskirts of the solar system, toward the Oort cloud. Rumor has it the Oort cloud might contain more than 1 trillion, that's 1 million comets. You'd need 3 years to reach that faraway place. You can also visit the closest to Earth star other than the Sun, Proxima Centauri. It's more than 24 trillion miles away from our planet. That's 24 with 12 zeros. No worries, I get confused too. But if you decide to set off on such a journey, be ready to spend 4 years to get there. Your trips get longer and longer. You're about to visit the center of our home Milky Way galaxy. The thing is really big. More than 100,000 light-years in diameter and another 1,000 light-years thick. By the way, remember 1 light-year is the distance light travels in a year, and it's about 6 trillion miles. Plus, the Milky Way galaxy is home to 400 billion stars and even more planets. To get to the center of the Milky Way, you would have to travel a distance of 25,000 light-years. Even at the speed of light, it would still take you, guess what? 25,000. But say you're getting ambitious. Why not visit the closest to Earth large spiral galaxy? That'll be the Andromeda Galaxy. In this case, you need to pack as many supplies and entertainments as possible, because the trip would take 2.5 million years.
The Lord of the Arsh and Kursi. We're talking about the Lord of the worlds. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. We're talking about the Lord of the entire universe and beyond. The entire universe and beyond. You know, we live in this dunya, and we are fascinated with this dunya which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indeed has created in a beautiful manner. We're fascinated. There are over billions of people which live on this dunya at this moment in time. Over over 6 billion people that live on the dunya at this moment in time. This dunya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so big that there is space in this dunya for billions and billions and billions or more people. But what is this dunya in comparison to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created out there? This dunya is insignificant. This dunya is meaningless to Allah. It means nothing. It is worthless. So worthless, compare it with the sun. The sun is one star. You know more science than me. You'll be able to tell me better. Take this planet Earth and you place it inside the sun, and you will be able to place 1.3 million Earths in the sun. 1.3 million Earths in the sun. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. The sun is one star. One star. There are stars out there which are millions of times bigger than the sun. You tell me this, that you need millions and millions of stars to make one galaxy. And then you tell me this, that there are zillions of galaxies out there. Let me tell you on top of this, my friend. After this, whatever you see above, when you raise your head and you look above, whatever you see above, the zillions and zillions and zillions of galaxies, let me tell you, this is everything there is within the first heaven. Everything there is within the first heaven, and Allah is the creator of 7 heavens. 7 heavens.
وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ وَأَعْتَدْنَا لَهُمْ عَذَابَ السَّعِيرِ.
Allah is the creator of 7 heavens. 7 heavens. And the distance between the first heaven and the second heaven is 500 years. You know the distance that can be covered in 500 years? At what speed? Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows. But it will take 500 years to get from the first heaven to the second heaven. 500 years from the second to the third, third to the fourth, fourth to the fifth, fifth to the sixth, sixth to the seventh. Every time it will take 500 years. After the 7 heavens, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. You all read the Ayatul Kursi. You all know the Ayatul Kursi. After this, you have the Kursi of Allah. You have the chair of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know these 7 heavens that we've just talked about, in comparison to the Kursi of Allah, they're non-existent. They're meaningless. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given an example in a hadith, just to give us a little bit of understanding with regards to the 7 heavens in comparison to the Kursi of Allah. Take a ring from your finger, take it off, the small ring that you have, and place it, let's say, in a desert, the Sahara Desert. It's the biggest desert in the world. You know that ring that we take off from our fingers and place it in the Sahara Desert? What comparison is in between the ring and the Sahara Desert? Nothing. Nothing. The 7 heavens is the ring, and the Kursi of Allah is the Sahara Desert. After the Kursi of Allah, you have the Arsh of Allah. وَكَانَ أَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. You have the Arsh of Allah. Again, Rasulullah has explained, so just so that we can understand. Take the ring, place it in the desert. This time, the ring is the Kursi and the Arsh is the desert. What is the Kursi in comparison to the Arsh of Allah? Nothing. Then you have angels which carry the Arsh of Allah. Their heads are in the seventh heaven and their feet are in the lowest earth. My friends, then you have the Lord of the earth and Kursi. لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار وهو اللطيف الخبير. He is beyond the size of Allah, who Allah is, what Allah is. The greatness of Allah is beyond the comprehension of my little mind. This is the being that you and I are messing with.
Your attention, dear brothers and sisters in Islam. The description of just one of Allah Almighty's creation. He is an angel, the chief of the angels, Angel Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam saw him in his true angelic form. Ahmad narrates in his Musnad that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, the companion, he said, رأى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم جبريل في صورته. رأى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم جبريل على صورته له 600 جناح كل جناح منها قد سد الأفق يسقط من جناحه من التهاويل والدر والياقوت ما الله به عليم. He says the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Angel Jibreel in his true angelic form, and he had no less than 600 wings, and every one of those wings was huge enough to fill the horizon and cover the skies. One wing spread out covers every cloud, covers every star, covers the sun and the moon, covers every inch of that blue sky that we see. One wing. What then can you make of 600 wings? And if this is the majesty of just one of Allah Almighty's creation, what then can you make of the beauty and the majesty of the Creator Himself? La ilaha illallah. I bring to your attention, dear brothers and sisters, yet a second creation from Allah Almighty. This is the description of one of the angels who are carrying the throne of Allah. Abi Dawood narrates in his Sunan on the authority of Jabir that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, أذن لي أن أحدث عن ملك من ملائكة الله من حملة العرش ما بين شحمة أذنه وعاتقه مسيرة 700 عام. He said alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah has given me permission to give you, O Muslims, a description of just one of the angels that are carrying the throne of Allah. He said the distance between his earlobe and his shoulder is the distance of 700 years worth of travel. If that is the distance between his ear and his shoulder, a hand span of a distance for us human beings, what then about the size of the rest of this angel? What then about the enormity of the rest of his body? If this is the size of one of the angels who are carrying the throne of Allah, what then about the enormity of the throne of Allah itself? And if this is the size of the throne of Allah, what then about the Lord and the King of that throne? Allah asks, أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَسْجُدُ لَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Don't you see, O people, that everything in the heavens and the earth prostrates to Allah? وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ, and so does the sun, and so does the moon. وَالنُّجُومُ وَالْجِبَالُ, and so do the stars, and so do the mountains. وَالشَّجَرُ وَالدَّوَابُ, and so do the trees, and so do the moving creatures. وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنَ النَّاسِ, and so do many people. وَكَثِيرٌ حَقَّ عَلَيْهِ الْعَذَابُ, and many people will be punished, Ya Allah. Isn't that amazing? From all of creation that's in existence, they are all in submission, all in sujood to Allah, whether we see it or realize it or not. And the only exception is a minority who happen to be from the weakest of all creation. He is man. He and the jinn, they refuse to prostrate to.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.